Hey, I'm going to do this one a little bit differently than usual versus just going straight into the recipe. I'm going to actually introduce it. And the reason being is this is the Manhattan, which has been around roughly since the 1860s. Now, you go to any bar and order a Manhattan, it's probably going to be a little different from this recipe. And the reason being is it's evolved over the years. So this recipe comes from a book called Modern American Drinks: How to Mix and Serve All Kinds of Cups and Drinks. And it was written by a guy named George Kappeler, and he is assumed to have been a bartender who put down a bunch of drink recipes into a cocktail book. And this was published in 1895. So that is the recipe we are doing here today, which is going to be a bit different from your traditional Manhattan. This is a classic Manhattan, which is what I like to call it, or an original Manhattan. All right, so first, of course, we need to start with some ice into your mixing glass. And we're going to add some gum syrup. Now, this is the different thing. Most recipes don't use gum syrup, but this is that kind of original thing. And you just kind of want a couple dashes of it, or a little pour, since I'm pouring it out of the big ass bottle. After your gum syrup, you're going to want to go with some bitters, and just a couple dashes of bitters as well. Keep a tidy workspace. After bitters, you want a little vermouth. And with the vermouth, we're going to do half a jigger, as that's what the original recipe called for. There we go. And the original recipe also called for half a jigger of whiskey. I think most recipes now use a full one. And we're using Tennessee whiskey because it's what I have on hand. I would actually recommend for this that you go more with a rye whiskey over a Tennessee whiskey. Most of my whiskey collection is Scotch or Irish. My hair keeps falling into my face. Okay, once you got that, mix. And you want to stir it. Don't shake it. Got a couple cubes. And then strain it. Garnish with a cherry, or in our case, a twist of lemon. And that's it. That is your traditional or classic or original Manhattan, as written by George Kappeler.